Welcome to the Navigating Dental Insurance Podcast, where we don't take from insurance companies. Here are your hosts, Mr. Jordan Comstock and Mr. Ben Tuine. This podcast is sponsored by BoomCloud Dental Membership Software, www.boomcloudapps.com, and Veritas Dental Resources, www.veritasdentalresources.com. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Navigating Dental Insurance Podcast. I am your host today, Jordan Comstock, and I'm super excited to have Kevin Rossen on this podcast with us today. Kevin is the founder and CEO of Divergent Dental, which serves the dental community by providing simple, strategic, and focused insights for the practices. He comes from the front lines of worked alongside his father as the office manager of his established dental office just north of Dallas, Texas. Kevin is a true geek at heart. His hobbies include DIY projects around the house and following the Dallas Mavericks and Texas Rangers. Kevin, what is up, brother?
Hey, how's it going, Jordan? Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited to have you on the show today. So, you and I were hanging out at Voices of Dentistry in Arizona. What did you think of the meeting? Was it a good one for you?
It was great. You know, it was good to reconnect with people that I've known for a while, met some new people, and just had a good time in Arizona.
Yeah, likewise, man. I always find the Voices of Dentistry to be a great opportunity to meet new people and, like you said, connect with some awesome people in the dental industry like yourself, right? It's been some time since we talked. I know we chat like on Facebook every once in a while, but it's good to always meet in person and collaborate and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So it was good to get out of the cold of Dallas. You know, we've been in the 40s here lately, and it got up to the 60s while we were there. I was excited. It gets, you know, we got to get our winter coats down here in Texas when it drops in the 40s.
Yeah, it's warm here in Utah today. It is 40 degrees. So I think we've been used to like mid-20 weather. Which once you get through it, right, you get used to it. But 40 feels nice. I walked out with a T-shirt today, and I'm like, man, this feels really good today.
Yeah,
so,
and I can't do that now. Yeah, I like the heat.
Yeah, no, I do too. I don't know. I always say this on the podcast, but I don't know why I live in Utah. I love I guess I love the people here, and it's just a good business state. But I just hate the snow. Yeah. So I told my wife the other day, I'm like, I'd really like to have a condo somewhere, so like we can just leave during the wintertime and I don't have to deal with it.
There you go.
So that's kind of what our plan is here in the future. So
cool. Awesome.
So today I'm super excited for our podcast today. Kevin and I, like we said, we're hanging out Voices of Dentistry, and we're collaborating and figuring out how to provide more value to dentists. And of course, I talk about in-house membership programs, and Kevin, you would imagine you talk about the importance of knowing the data, right, to make decisions in dentistry and things like that.
For sure.
So we kind of were chatting, and Kevin was actually chatting with one of my team members, Dustin Rock. Most of you know Dustin if you've called my company. And we ended up wanting to know like what the value of a member a patient who is uninsured but is a member to the practice versus a non-member, right? So basically the title of the podcast is The Value of a Membership Patient, right? So we're going to talk about that today, and we're actually going to use some real data based off of Kevin and his database and our database here at BoomCloud. So we've kind of joined forces and are going to give you guys hopefully some good information to make good decisions in your practice in regards to membership programs. So, Kevin, why don't you tell us your background in your office? You manage your dad's office. You guys have a membership program. Give us some background there.
Yeah, so it was a few years ago. Started getting the idea. We were using a different group, not BoomCloud. I don't even think BoomCloud had either started or was brand new, so I didn't hear of it back then. This was 2013, I think, is when we started.
Yeah, we started building. We started building in 2013. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. You know, if I would have known you around, we probably would have made our lives easier to have that for sure. But we were looking at the offerings. We had just some ideas of the infancy. Not many people were doing. A lot of people were afraid to try it because they thought it might be like insurance fraud or something like that.
Yeah,
but
still people think that. It's not true.
They do.
They
Yeah, it's
still
not
think
true.
that. Yeah, it's not true.
It's not true as long as you follow. There are laws you have to follow, just like everything else. But
Yeah.
regardless, we were trying to find, okay, what can we offer? Even 5-6 years ago, we were recognizing the fact that first off, the people that were solo entrepreneur types like you and I, there's really not a good option for them to get dental insurance that's worth it. I mean, they really don't have a good option to pull something that they're actually paying more by getting dental insurance than getting a plan. That was who our target niche was, and we just came up with an offering that was very comparable to what I think you guys suggest is take a look at here's what it's included, your preventive services, and then a discount off your restorative work is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And, it's something that was enough of a discount percent just to be enticing, but also something that would be comparable to what we were already taking in PPO hits, because we have about 80% of our practice still is from the insurance carriers that we're in network with. So it's still something that we haven't tried to get. I guess we haven't said no to the am I allowed to say
you can say you haven't
okay.
You've only 20% said no to the PPOs.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Thank you. So I wasn't sure if I could say that or not. So
of course,
anyway, we built this idea of a plan. We called it the Healthy Smiles plan, and offered one for preventive, just regular cleanings, and one for perio services as well. So like our 4910 patients, we wanted to include them. And tried it out. A really fancy marketing material is a one-page letter document with no graphics at all, and people like the value of what we provide. So we've been doing it for about 5+ years, and kind of rewarded the first family. Actually, the first person that signed up for it was a gentleman who's been a patient of our practice for a long time, who owns a lawn care business, and
cool.
he has a family, and it's like, okay, we're going to have a special deal for him, a little bit better discount on extra services that immediately they utilized. I mean, they had a daughter who needs some dental work, and that was enough for them to get going. And man, he already was a loyal patient that made him even more loyal to our practice. So
yeah, absolutely.
And he's still a plan member today. Their family still comes in for their regular clinic. So the idea that we had is, and me as an outsider from the membership plan on BoomCloud, but for me, the idea is you want something that rewards loyalty to your patients. You want to incentivize them to keep coming back.
Yes.
And that's the big thing that was one of the big things for us. It's like not just do we want to give them a discount, but we want to encourage them to come in to get their teeth cleaned first and foremost, because that's going to keep them from having the more expensive services, which, that's good for us from a bottom line side, but really we care about our patients as people. We don't want to just see, we're going to add a high dollar procedure to their treatment plan. We want to take care of them as best we can. And so that was I think, honestly, in everything we do, we want to treat people like people. And this is just an option that allows the people who are successful independent business owners, or anyone else, honestly, doesn't matter, to find a valuable service that rewards them for staying true to us.
Yeah. And I think, the membership programs are great because, as you said, that the business owner that owned the lawn care, he became a more loyal customer, right,
sure.
to the practice. And the big thing is, so this is what I teach dentists and practice owners and office managers, right? So I tell them that a membership program shouldn't it should be thought of as at least the successful membership program should be thought of as a patient attraction tool, a patient retention tool or loyalty tool, a case acceptance tool, and a recurring revenue tool for the practice, right? Or so that's what I teach. And so you hit the nail on the head when you said, this business owner signed up, and we noticed that he became even more loyal to our practice, right? And that's one of the key factors when you have a successful membership program, that you're going to see more retention with the patients, because honestly, that's one of the biggest problems just in business alone is if you don't understand attrition, or just people leaving and not going to choosing your service anymore. That can destroy a business if you're not focused on that. So having a retention tool in place is critical, in my opinion. I'm sure you feel the same way with all the data that you see.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So just on that note, I think the hardest thing in dentistry is to get people to schedule an appointment.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the hardest thing. I mean, the doctors are smart. They've had years of training on how to do the clinical side of things. Same with the hygienist. But first, to get them on the schedule, you got to break down barriers for that. And then the second hardest thing is getting them to show up. I'd say those are the two hardest things. And once you get those figured out, I think it really helps just keep your business coasting on that.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
well,
for sure.
And think about this, right? For all those that are listening, if a patient pays yearly or monthly to your practice to get their cleanings and their exams and some discounts on any of your services, they're more likely or less likely to cancel. And if they do cancel, you've collected the funds already, right? So there's less risk for you as a practice owner. Right, and when somebody has their skin in the game, right, when they're paying a yearly or monthly fee, they're less likely to cancel. But if they do cancel, they're more likely to sign up because they're already paid for it, right? Or not sign up to reschedule, right? So I mean that's a huge benefit that solves a massive problem in our industry.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So let's fast forward a little bit here with my story. Over the course of the last 5+ years, built a business analyzing data. Started with my dad's practice, and we were looking at things and asking questions and finding answers from the data. And since built Divergent Dental, and we're providing simple, focused, strategic insights, like you mentioned, for our customers. And one of the things that I like to know is what helps increase your bottom line. What can you do that isn't like it's a no-brainer for you as a practice to have. And like you mentioned before, we were chatting at Voices of Dentistry, and we're just trying to kind of idea of, well, what are the numbers? I mean, like, does this actually work? Because I remember when we started the plan, one of our concerns was, well, we're giving away 30% of our services, that we're just discounting it, and like, oh, these people would have already paid it. We're just throwing that money away. Instead of collecting $1,000, we're collecting $700 from the patient, or whatever the discount number might be.
Especially, I'll throw in my 2 cents. Especially if a practice is a strictly fee-for-service practice, that is definitely their biggest concern when implementing a membership program. So it sounds like guys that are working with PPOs, that's the same concern.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so with the membership plan, we're looking at, these are patients that don't have an insurance plan, or they're dropping their insurance plan and they're looking for something as an alternative. And for me, when I try to figure out, is it worth it, I want to analyze the hard numbers. I don't want to speculate, because I've heard the speculation. I think it's absolutely true. The psychology of a membership plan is you're providing the discount for them. Well, now the idea of reciprocity, I think Dr. Phelps and the influencer people, that's a very true idea, and the psychology works. I'm like, cool, the psychology backs up. Does the data back it up too? So 6 years ago, I probably would have just known the one practice. And I'll tell you, from the first thing I did when Dustin and I were looking at this was let's figure out, for our patients who are not insured, and so basically these are the target market for our membership. Let's compare the two sets we have. Let's compare those who are on our membership plan versus those who are not on our membership plan. And so what I did is I wanted to analyze. Is it okay if we just go ahead and jump into these numbers?
Yeah, let's jump into it. Cool. So
so go ahead.
No, the floor is yours, brother.
Floor is mine. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, what can I look at? I'm like, well, let's look at my dad's practice first, because I know exactly how we have it set up. So I found that over the past 18 months, there were 508 patients that we've seen that would fall into that category. They don't have dental insurance, and we saw them for something. So that was they paid us for something, I guess would be the main thing.
Yeah.
So what I found was our non-member, those who do not have a membership plan, over the past 18 months, we've averaged collecting $650.30 from them. I'm like, okay, well,
non-members?
Non-members, right. So this is one location. I thought, okay, well, that's neat. That's good. What's the difference on the member plan? And I found that our members at our one location, I thought, okay, $837.54 is what we've collected from them, which is 29% more. And I thought, oh wow, that's a big jump. We're actually we're discounting our services by 15%, but we're collecting 30% more. How does that math work? That's like, but I'm looking at that like, well, that backs it up. I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty. And I got really excited about that. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And then I was like, well, Dustin and I were talking about, it'd be great if we could actually look at somebody that's already a BoomCloud customer. Because that would be a mutual customer, like data that we have at Divergent, data that would be relevant to you guys. So
Absolutely.
We're just sitting there chatting, me and Dustin, and we're talking, and one of my customers was by it, and I was like, hey, do you have a membership plan? And the doctor's like, yeah, we use BoomCloud.
So sweet, I love it.
That was so crazy. It was perfect, and it was like so ironic that that he came across. And so I was like, hey, well, let's look at your numbers. And so he walked in and I asked him how it was set up because everybody puts it in their
They set it
software
up
a little
slightly
bit different.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, for sure. So on his location, their average collection for their non-members was $486. So somewhat low. And his member numbers, $1,256.
Wow.
So
$1,256.
the second location they find they collect 158% more. So that excited me from the data side, but I'm also like, man, we suck at our place.
How can we improve that?
Yeah, no, I rephrase that. Yeah, like the bar is actually really low. We're really, honestly, out of all the ones I've looked at, our office is the lowest performer in the difference between the two.
Hey, but now you know. Now you know you've got the data. Now you can improve, right? That's usually how it goes when we know the numbers.
Yeah. So and then just I dug further and I looked at open dental and dentrix and practices from California, Florida, South Carolina.
Across the nation.
Across the nation, yeah, and Washington. So a real large sample size. We looked at over 3,800 patients that would fall into those categories. So they're a fee-for-service patient essentially, where they don't have an insurance plan, and you've collected from them over the past 18 months. So across the board, looking at almost 4,000 patients, the non-member, those who don't have an insurance plan, on average. Right now, collecting $772.79.
Okay, so that's for all the non-members.
All the non-members.
But they're uninsured patients still, but they're non-members.
Don't have the membership plan. So $772.79. The members are collecting, on average, $1,576.12, which is 104% more collecting, even though they're discounting the plan, discounting the services, still collecting twice as much. And I'm like,
times,
cow.
2 times as much. You're giving discounts, 104% more. So your members pay 100 on average with what you've sampled. Right. Members pay 104% more than non-members, or
correct,
2 times more than non-members, which is pretty incredible if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what's interesting about this is it's kind of rare to find something that everybody wins with, This is one of those deals where when we did the membership plan, one of the things that really appealed to me is there's no losers in this other than the insurance companies, and we don't care. I don't want them to lose, but they're not in our.
I do.
It's the dental practice's best interest is not at the heart of the dental insurance industry. So, I mean, they're a business. They're trying to make money. So we don't really need to help them be successful. We want to help our dental practices be successful is really what I look at it as. And so outside of dental insurance, the patient wins and the practice wins and the provider wins. All three win when you look at a membership plan, because one of the concerns I hear, and I had at the Voices Dentistry associate dentist came up to me and we were just chatting about it. And he's like, I don't really know how this benefits me because now I'm losing out on some of my production numbers. So, I would say it's not perfect that you have this membership plan because you still have to figure out how do you fairly compensate your providers if they're paid on production or collection.
Yeah, and that's actually, Kevin, that's a huge question we get. I mean, every once in a while we get practices that say, hey, we pay our hygienists on collections or on commission, right? And they're like, how do we structure this? So this is an interesting thought for me as well, because we get this all the time.
Yeah, and I think that there's probably more, we could probably dedicate a whole episode of really talking with people that have really figured it out, because it is a difficult question, because I don't think any practice management software really allow you to capture it perfectly, because the only real answer I can give you would be if you're going to put the adjustment or the discount, I would have that go towards either the office, if you have a generic provider, use an adjustment or a write-off or however you have it in your system, have it applied towards the practice, or the owner doctor takes the hit on that side. That would be another way you can do it, because really, I mean, it's that'd be the fairest, one of the most fair ways to do it, because if you think about it, if your general prophy visit, we'll just say, I would say an average visit with a prophy, bite wing, and exam. Well, let's just say prophy and bite wing. That's going to be $150 to $200 that the hygienist would typically get, and at that point you would say, well, they're still providing that service, and you're still getting paid for that service. but you're getting paid either monthly or quarterly or annually, depending on how you have it set up. So I don't have a great answer for it, but I will just say, even the associate doctors, they still win in this. Outside of you have to talk about it with your team about how you're going to be fair and be upfront and not try to cheat. I mean, because I've honestly seen both sides get kind of screwed on this if you're paying on collections specifically, because it's really difficult to have that entered into the software perfectly. Oftentimes someone's going to get the short end, either the owner or the associate. So that outside of just like figuring out that detail, the back to the focus of the question or the data.
Yeah.
These patients are paying twice as much. So if you're getting, so let's just throw out of maybe it's not a perfect way to get it entered into your software with the collection or production number from a compensation side, but the bottom line is, even if it's not perfect, you're still going to collect more. So you're still going to win in the end.
Two times or 104% more.
Right. So I mean, like, if it's like, instead of like shying away from it, if I were an associate, I would embrace it, because now you know that you're the good guy and you're helping them save money, and they're going to do more dentistry. Like, maybe instead of doing 1 crown, they'll do 2 crowns.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's better? Like, maybe it didn't get entered perfectly, but if you're getting paid 33%, is it better to get paid 33% on 1 crown or 33% on 2 crowns? So can you help me on that one, Jordan?
Yeah, I think it's better to get 2.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that's what the numbers are pointing to me at. Like, they're on average, if that's the only difference, that would be enough. But it's a huge jump that the data is showing for us.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to hear that and to see that data, and to be able to use your resources with Divergent Dental, the platform that you've built. That I mean, we couldn't have found that information without you and your mind, right, to create Divergent Dental. So I think that's a fantastic way to understand your numbers, no matter if it's a membership program or any other numbers that you're trying to track with your membership, with your practice. Use Divergent Dental. That to me, it's a no-brainer. So the answer was, are you losing money when you give a discount to a membership program? The answer is no. You are not losing money. In fact, you are gaining 104% or 2 times more money by offering a discount, which is kind of funny, right? Because I speak to practices every day, and it's typically the fee-for-service type practice, right? The full fee-for-service. They're always hesitant because they're like, well, I just feel like I'm already collecting like my 100% fees. Why should I give a 10 or 20% discount? Well, here's your answer: to get 104% more or 2 times more money than you're already getting, right?
Yeah.
So
you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to I've got a second grader, a son. I've got 2 other kids too, but let's just say one's better at math than the others.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm gonna give him $1, like, I guess in dimes, and I'm just gonna say, hey, if you give me 20 cents, I'll give you another $1. So at that point, would he? I wonder if he would take that deal. Like, you give me, take your $1 and give me 20 cents back, and I'll give you another $1 in return, or but $2.
It may be a fun. It may be a fun video to create, Kevin, and posting it on both of our websites about the effect of membership
value.
programs,
Yeah.
the value of membership programs.
My second grader can figure this. I think if he says no, I want to keep my $1, then I'd be like.
Well, then we bump up to the 3rd grader or the 4th grader. Right?
Okay, yes, I could do that. But that if he says no, I'm like, well, you're just like the fee-for-service dentists out there that are saying no. Then I mean, they will decide. Okay, well, never mind. I'm stopping.
No, that's good. No, very good point. But bottom line is, when you have a membership program with the data that we've collected so far, and I'm assuming that, Kevin, let's continue collecting this data. I think we should do some continued reports as we both learn more on this strategy in a practice. But go start.
Yeah, what I'd like to do. I don't have I'll have a page set up. I'll have it on our website. We'll just do divergentdental.com/boomcloud.
Yeah.
And what I think would be interesting, even if they don't want to sign up for our automated reporting service, if they want to be able to look at this specific number, we can either, there's a couple ways we can do it. If they're interested in that, we'll just have a contact form set up on divergentdental.com/boomcloud, and And that way we can get them that information, let them know, hey, I would like to know, first off, if they already offer a membership plan. I guess that we should qualify that. If you don't
Of
offer a
course, yeah.
membership plan,
It would
we're
make
not going to
sense.
be able to analyze that for you. But yeah, I mean, it's just been really interesting to find the real data, because I'm a guy who likes to speak the truth.
Yeah.
I feel like when you deal with reality, instead of like speculating, here's what it might be. I like to know, well, if we can figure what the reality really is, we'll start with that. Like for me, looking at my dad's practice, the reality is our membership plan is working. It's doing better than our non-members plan.
Yeah.
But I also see we're kind of lagging behind the rest of the industry that's utilizing the plans better.
Yeah. Yeah. But the more you know, right? Now you know how to fix that and everything.
I think that's half the battle, right?
Yeah, it is half the battle. So
Yeah.
I think this is just a fantastic episode, and I hope it's going to help our listeners out there understand the value of membership programs and the value of making sure you can collect data on everything you're doing. Because, I mean, I think if we wouldn't have that, we wouldn't know these numbers. So
Right.
I would check out Divergent Dental, what they're doing in the industry. I love what you're doing, Kevin, and I like you. You're a good friend, so that always counts, right? That's always a good thing to have when people like you.
Tearing up over here, man. I'm crying.
You're tearing up. So
Yeah.
if you can tell our audience, where can they find your website? What's your site and everything?
So my website's just divergentdental.com. That's Divergent dental. It's actually inspired by the name of the company is inspired by the Robert Frost poem "Two roads diverged in two paths diverged in the woods. I chose the road less traveled, and that's made all the difference."
I love that.
So
I didn't know that.
kind of the idea is, yeah. So kind of the idea, yeah. So kind of the idea is like when you go through life, someday you're gonna look back and you're gonna see where you've been and figure out, well, what made us, like, what set me apart, or what made me get to where I'm at today. And so when I actually chose it, it was not all the insight I had now, but like having insights into how you got to where you are is really the idea behind it. And so it fits perfectly with what we believe as a company. We want you to know the reality, like things, a couple other stats that we look at just in general is like reappointment rate and case acceptance. And you mentioned, reappointment rate, and I haven't looked, maybe this would be something interesting for another episode, is what is reappointment rate for a member patient versus a non-member patient? Because
that'd be really good.
Case acceptance, yeah. So with case acceptance, I hear some dental professionals or dental speakers talk about how their customers have 95% case acceptance, and unless they're a pediatric office, they're lying. I mean, if they're a pediatric office, they cheat, and all they do is tell their parents and say, "Do you love your kids? Well, you're going to have that filling done then." That's that's where, I mean, literally, case acceptance is much higher, but it's not even 95%. We see 69% case acceptance on average of patients saying yes to at least one thing treatment plan. So, and that number seems low, I guess, in some ways, but I'm like, I'd rather deal with what the number really is than speculate and just shoot in the dark and figure out, okay, well, we're going to guesstimate these numbers. I'd like to know the actual numbers. And
no, I'm the same
go
way.
from there. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy beneficial when you can do that. So I would encourage all of our listeners to go check out Divergent Dental. You guys are doing some awesome things in the industry. And then if you are interested in creating a membership program, come over and visit us at boomcloudapps.com and check out what we're doing. We'd love to work, especially if you're going to sign up with Divergent Dental, sign up with BoomCloud. You're going to get all this awesome data with both of our companies. So with that said, Kevin, I appreciate you coming on our show today. It was fun seeing you in Arizona, and I hope this was a valuable episode for all of our listeners out there.